we go. Go live. Boom. All right. Looks like we're live on. Are we live there? I don't know.
I would love to.
Great. And it looks like we are live in both places. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to be doing a talk on diabetes and aging and talking about comprehensive care, probably pretty advanced care for managing or preventing diabetes for women over 50. This also applies in large part to men too, as the treatments work both ways. But I like to, make my focus on women-related health more than anything. So yeah, let's get started first though with our simultaneous squeeze. We just like to do a little quick vagus nerve exercise practice here at the very beginning of these videos. So what that's going to entail is a quick, huge deep breath in, followed by a breath hold, a squeeze, and then for 5 seconds, you're going to squeeze your breath. Then you're going to exhale slowly for 5 seconds. That's going to powerfully activate your vagus nerve. Oh, I'm almost already yawning from thinking about it. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Sip of air. Hold and squeeze. And slowly exhale. Very good. Okay, wonderful. It's funny, I feel like you can get more high on your own breath than you can on any drugs that are out there. It's pretty crazy. If you do breathing right, it's pretty incredible. So yeah, you should feel your brain kind of activating, opening up. It feels pretty good. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Ooh, nice, cool, Nisa, good. So you took your 14-year-old grandson to see Oppenheimer. Very well done. Yes, I think it was a good movie. Definitely for a 14-year-old, I think they could probably get into that. Man, I'd be like, whoa, if I were that young at that time when I saw it. That's awesome. So yeah, let's crack into it. So basically, I guess if we just want to look at this, looking at diabetes, just from a picture perspective, because the pictures can kind of say a lot of things. A good way to describe diabetes is blood sugar levels, insulin resistance, and your pancreas. So let's first look at the pancreas. The pancreas is kind of the first order of where some of these issues crop up. Your pancreas is pretty darn important, and we're going to get some pictures here in the chit chat. So you can see what that looks like, hopefully. Boom. Boom, pancreas. So yeah, don't leave, guys. We got some awesome stuff here. So yeah, that's the anatomy of the pancreas. When you get older, when you get more inflammation, your B cells in your pancreas stop producing insulin. You get sugar, blood sugar spikes. That causes more irritation in your bloodstream. That causes your whole body to get over sugarified. You get high blood sugar, and that causes more inflammation, and that causes more issues. So your pancreas is extremely important. Your pancreas is really, really, really crucial for your whole body. So what do we want to do? We want to stimulate the pancreas. So I'm going to tell you about a couple things where they're now stimulating the pancreas. Well, first we're going to start with stimulating the vagus nerve. First we stimulate the vagus nerve. Then what we look at is stimulating the pancreas. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find some way to regularly stimulate your vagus nerve. That's going to keep your pancreas in check. Really, really important. So if you look at this first link, vagus nerve stimulation decreases pancreatitis severity. Vagus nerve stimulation reduces inflammation inside of your pancreas. So it's really important to incorporate vagus nerve stimulation practices in your care if you are at risk for some form of pancreas issues. Another link here in the chat. This one is a really good one. Ugh. Feinstein Institute researchers find brainstem neurons regulate pancreatic inflammation. And that would mean your vagus nerve, brainstem center. Where is this? Yes. So the study selectively activated efferent vagus nerve fibers, nerves that transmit signals downwards to the organs, efferent, originating in the brainstem, dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus in animal models. After stimulating the neurons in the DMN, researchers observed significantly less severe pancreatitis, as noted by a reduction in pancreatic cytokines, inflammatory proteins, tissue damage, and other signs. These results provide the first evidence that efferent vagus cholinergic neurons originating in the brainstem can inhibit pancreatic inflammation and point to a potential therapeutic target. Currently, this is a quote, there is no effective treatment for acute pancreatitis, leaving patients at risk for further complications and organ failure and even death, says Dr. Chavan, professor of the Feinstein Institutes of Bioelectronic Medicine. For the first time, we have shown the potential that vagus nerve stimulation has to ease inflammation and treat this condition. Wow. That is exciting. Okay, so that's the first thing. So first thing to know is that we want to be stimulating the vagus nerve when it comes to the pancreas. Now, here's some more stuff. Now, the stuff I'm going to share here is related to actively managing insulin release from your pancreas by using targeted ultrasound. Ultrasound delivered directly to your pancreas has a good ability to cause your pancreas to release insulin. And you don't need that much insulin. So that's actually really cool. That's actually really, really good news for people who may be having insulin issues. So yeah, let's see. Yeah. So anyway, that thing that I put into the chat is basically the good paper to read. And that's from excuse me. That's from the 2017 June 2017 is when that was posted. And then also another good way. Whoopsies. Another good article to know here is another one on ultrasound stimulation of the pancreas to reduce pancreatic inflammation as well, and ultrasound stimulation as a therapy to create the release of insulin, which is a potential treatment for type 2 diabetes. Yeah. Which I think is great. I think is really good. So for those who, may be having some potential issues with insulin release, they might want to consider doing something with, that. They might want to consider doing something like that. Just saying. That could be cool. Let's see. Here's another interesting study. This one's on ultrasound on other organs, liver, spleen, blood vessels. This found that ultrasound was able to repair lesions in the liver. So, ultrasound appears to provide long-lasting homeostasis of acute liver injury, healing and repair mechanisms after high-intensity focused ultrasound application appear to be intact. That's interesting. I'm a big fan. Big fan of this ultrasound stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. And when was that published? Wow. February 2004 was when that was published. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. It's amazing that like ultrasound isn't used more often. It's unfortunate. I think it should be, but you know how it goes. And then lastly, we're going to share in the chat here. No, I just want the picture. What the hell? I'm just trying to get a good picture for you all so you can see this. Let's see. Copy image address. Paste in the chat. Paste. I hope you're not getting that internal server error. I don't know why that's happening, but anyway, you can see in that picture that I just posted from Radiology Expert, a little picture of the transducer of an ultrasound, how it's pointed up into the pancreas. Interesting stuff for sure. Although I think that's anatomically very wrong. That picture is very wrong. So don't follow that one. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, generally speaking, you can tell from my curtness to this video on diabetes is that my belief is that if you are pre-diabetic dealing with type 2 diabetes, then you probably should do ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation and, you know, obviously do the natural stuff like have a healthy diet and all that stuff, right? You should do that too. However, given the links that I've posted here in the chat on how stimulating your vagus nerve and doing ultrasound to your pancreas can probably work as a much better treatment option for insulin issues, that it would make more sense. Lori, I think you have a great comment here. Might help too many people, right? Doctors would not be able to make money and do unnecessary tests. It's very likely. It's very likely. How could a paper like that be published in 2004 on using ultrasound on the liver and showing that it maintains homeostasis, and now we're in here 20 years later? No such. I mean, there not a peep about ultrasound at all anywhere. That's pretty weird. But we have all the drugs in the world for this stuff. Kind of interesting. How much money do companies make on insulin? Let's see that. Insulin profits. Why is insulin so expensive? The middlemen take half the profit. Wow. So apparently it takes $2 to $4 to produce a vial of insulin. The insulin market. Wow. The insulin market in 2005 was $7.3 billion. The price of insulin on the market for an uninsured person is $275 per vial, even though it's estimated to cost $2 to $4 per vial of insulin. And they make something close to $19 billion. Is that right? Billion? Let's see. What is the exact cost here? Yeah, so the most striking feature of the insulin market is the speed with which it expanded. I'll post this in the chat to you so you can see that too. Interesting. So in 1995, insulin made $2 billion a year. 2000, $3 billion. $19.9 billion from insulin sales in 2020. And here I've posted here in the chat links to articles showing that ultrasound stimulation, yeah, I mean, God, right? That ultrasound stimulation of the pancreas can have just as much of an effect as an insulin dose. Are you me fucking kidding me? Is there not some kind of a conspiracy here? Hello? Right? Yeah, most seniors can't afford it. Most uninsured absolutely can't afford it. What they make today, probably 3 years later since that, is probably $25 billion per year. So yeah, of course, there's not going to be any money going into this, this stuff that I'm talking about. Not fringe though. I'm not talking about crystals and herbs and shit like that. I'm talking about real medical research on ultrasound. Ultrasound's a real thing. Everybody here has probably had an ultrasound on them at some point in their life. So anyway, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad, but whatever. All right, well, yeah, well, anyway. So like I said, if you are diabetic and you're hearing this, then, you know, you probably have the answer. Hopefully you have the answer. If you do need help with this, please, you know, of course, feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out, get some help, get some coaching around this. We can help. This is something that I do all the time. But yeah. Yeah. Nisa, you wrote, not to mention that insulin makes sense for type 1, but seriously not for type 2. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, what type 1 ultrasound won't work on type 1 diabetics. Ultrasound will absolutely work on type 2 diabetics, but I'm sure that like Wim Hof breathing could probably fix type 2 diabetes too. So, I mean, you know, who are we to say that it has to be ultrasound or that there's some conspiracy? It just, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely think if you follow the money, the world will make a lot of sense for sure. So anyway, but speaking of diabetes, I am getting hungry. Not because I have diabetes, but I'm just thinking about stuffing my face with some food tonight and getting some food. I haven't eaten a big meal in a day or so. So I'm really hungry. So we're gonna wrap it up here on YouTube. So thanks guys for watching on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Thanks for watching. And